this is Rebirth11 here with another replay analysis. We're looking at a Windranger game. Oh boy, about to sneeze. Whoa. Alright. Oh, that's a little preface. I'm not the best Windranger, but I played with quite a few of them, so hopefully I'll be able to help you out a little bit. And I'm sure there'll be some basic errors we'll be able to comment on.
You hit this guy, he gets healthier. Can you believe that?
Looks like it's an unranked game. That's cool. I noticed the bristleback abandons, but it looked like it was a later abandon because it was like level 15 with a couple items. But we'll try and focus on what you could have done, like the early big game, to get more out of.
30 seconds until this place goes ham.
See, the Meepo's kind of rough because he can just hold you in place with nets and poof if he's half competent. PA, you're naturally immune to physical damage. Gyro's got huge magical. He holds you in place. It's not the, definitely not the best Windranger game. 4 of them can kill you, or 3, I guess, can kill you, and those 2 can help kill you by slowing you. You shouldn't have taken that poof damage. You like walked up to him to take the poof damage, which is pretty bad. What's he got? He just got boots.
Oh man, they just got some of that first blood going.
I also don't play against a lot of Meepos either. And, like, is it worth harassing him? Probably. Once he gets to level 3 though, you really can't. You can just poof his Meepos back and forth. Just try not to take the unnecessary damage. That's really good though. Could have tried throwing out a power shot there too. And maybe you could even ran him down with your E if you connected on it. There's no reason to like go for this rune right now. If you don't have the bottle, you just missed a bunch of experience here for like minimal gain, if any. Like, what did going for that rune get you? I mean, if it's an action rune, maybe you can run down there, but you only have 1 level in power shot. You can focus on just getting a lot out of the lane. Like, you don't feel pressured to rotate immediately. Like, you can force yourself to rotate, get nothing, miss 2 creep waves, and be super behind in this lane, and let this Meepo get even farther ahead. I think you can definitely have kill potential in this lane, though. Meepo is a hero that requires like a fair bit of multitasking, so if he has 1 mid and 1 stacking like he should, there's a good chance. You got it. Nice. Good power shot. But yeah, so there's like a good chance you'll be able to like land a shackle, hit a power shot, and then ult and kill him in the Meepos. So you just have to keep aware of that advantage. Phase Blitz is fine. There's like a couple of ways to play. You can go for like a really fast blink. You can go blink Maelstrom, you can go straight Ags or blink Ags or Ags then blink. It just depends how you're going to be playing. The faster blink is better for solo pickoff, so I think the Ags is better for team fighting because it gives you a fair bit of stats, which he's kind of short in. See this rotation? I think you might be able to get something out of it. Yeah. Boom, power shot. Nice. That's good. You just buy a TP and go right back middle right now. Yeah, you don't want to leave mid for too much. You probably don't want to waste your mana like that either. Like, what's the point of throwing out that shackle? If you want to throw out a power shot to harass, that's cool, but like, you throwing out a shackle, wasting your mana for like no reason. Okay, you're being like, okay, you got another killer, that's good. Like, you're 3-0 right now, but keep in mind you have 20 creeps at a point where you should probably have like 35 or 40. But you got 3 kills, like it's worth it. You just have to think like, what if those rotations don't hit? You know? Like, a bad thing to be is too centered around getting kills. Even if you're a hero like a Slark or a Windranger or heroes that want to get a lot of kills, like you have to be able to balance getting kills with actually creeping. And yeah, that's what I was talking about. You see how much damage you took there? I probably, yeah, you don't want to keep going there. More proof and you would have been in pretty bad shape. That's awkward. Got him. It's like here you're rotating again. Like you could be farming. You have half your HP right now. You don't have a rune. Why are you sitting here? You could just be in middle lane.
Oh, Rick, he's dominating now. He's
Like the thing is, and like dying is really bad. You're putting yourself in situations where you have to get kills or it's not worth it, and you can't die. Like you're 4-0 right now, which is like I don't want to take that away from you. There's a certain degree of execution that's involved in that. You still also have a stick. You have free stick charges all over the place here. Repo poofing on the creep wave, her throwing daggers, his anchor smash, his rockets on like a 3-second cooldown. You definitely want a wand. I'll give you a little extra stats. In this game, Ags first is probably okay. Like I said, I don't play a lot of Windranger. I'd imagine Ags first would be okay. It will let you do pretty well in team fights. You're sitting here for too long too. I think you were here for probably at least like 20 seconds. He knows you're here now. You're also not like. Pretty sure you should just max this first. It's a pretty big damage increase. Wow. That's huge. That like when you see something. Okay, he's leveling his rocket. That's kind of weird.
That force field leads me to believe that
Okay, that's only 2 levels. I thought it was low. That's 250 damage. Anyway, good use of the regen rune. Right now, you should be trying to force a fight. Like you tell your team to group up, come bottom, take a tower, because you know Tidehunter's ult is on cooldown. And when his ult's on cooldown, that's when you take big objectives. So that's something you gotta try and communicate with your team, and like be aware of. Like now's the time where you do want to fight, and you're farming middle. I think you also made your attempt to go for that shackle a little too obvious. Like, think of it like a faceless void. You just like walk up to someone, like instantly look like you're creeping, and then just drop a shackle like you would a chronosphere or something like that. Like right now, it's 12 minutes in. A good Windranger would be at like 70 creeps, and like maybe a kill. I don't know. Like you were rotating a lot, so it's like natural that your creeps are lower. But like, look what you traded. He's got twice your farm. Let's see what the net worth is. So like you traded 4 kills, and he's only 200 net worth below you, 300 net worth. Can't compare experience because he's a fucking meepo.
Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So you're just rushing a crit right now. That's bad. Like you look at this lineup, it's not a crit game. You definitely go for an Ags, probably Ags, Blink, MKB. There's no reason. Like you need a crit to kill her. Sorry, you need MKB to kill her. Like, you can have a crit and you're gonna miss 50% of your hits anyway, because she has blur. And like, MKB is not a bad item, you're gonna proc so much. Like, it's a 35% chance to proc on MKB, so you have to think through your items. Like, the Chrysalis will help you kill the other people, but being able to put the PA in her place is really important. Like, I'm sure you experience it a lot in lower level games, or like even higher level games, you'll see it. Like, once a PA gets out of control, it's a really hard hero to punish. Like, playing from behind against that hero is really hard because of her fucking evasion, and there's like not much you can do about it. Like, this is so naturally rushes MKB. Oh, sorry. Like, she's a natural MKB carrier. Lena can too, to an extent. Bristol can too, but he's not going to get it fast at all. You can afford to get it fast. Like, you should be going Ags, Blink, MKB, in that order, probably. Blink and Ags are interchangeable, but the next item after that should be an MKB. Like, the crit's going to help you kill the other people, but like, you'll be able to kill them anyway with an MKB. Like, an MKB is a strong item. But like, your team doesn't, like, you have Alina, who I guess is pretty good at trying to keep her in check. Because it's just like huge burst damage, but I imagine you might have other problems in this game. I don't think she's not in particularly great shape. But you're gonna have that one fight where she just like crit mongers you, and then you're just pissed off. Okay, she didn't even level her fucking blur. This is really stupid. One level is like fine. Like, I'm not saying you have to max blur, but at least one level is fucking good. Against your team, probably. I could see the blur max being justified easily. let's go back to you. So you have the crit now, 54 creeps, 4 kills. So you haven't really gotten kills, and you put together 20 creeps in 5 minutes. Which isn't a lot. Like, you want to be smart. You can nuke out this wave. You want to, like, okay, so the way you want to creep, let's back up. Let's back up and look at this. This is something you have to figure out on every hero you're playing as a core. Particularly if they have a nuke. Like, let's look at this. How do I kill this creep wave in the most efficient way? Let's back it up. That creep's dead. Probably take the last hit. You don't go for that creep. You start autoing these two. And you want to hit it, you want to make it so that your power shot will kill all the creeps at once, or as many of them as you can. What that does is it makes it harder for them to deny. They can't deny 5 creeps at once, and they can't deny when your burst is doing 300 plus damage to all the creeps. So that's one thing to think about, and it's just efficient and wave clearing. Because you don't have to worry about the last time each individual creeps. You ever have that moment where like 2 creeps are getting like low at the same time, and you have to choose a creep? If you're using your power shot to finish off multiple creeps at once, you're not going to run into that problem. It's the same thing you'd use for like Alina. Like, you drop your stun, auto attack all the melees once, and then you Dragon Slave through them, and you'll kill a whole creep wave. They do get stronger later on, so it's not always true. Your Dragon Slave should one-shot range creeps for a long period of time, until somewhere around 25 minutes. And then you need one attack on the range creeps too. But the one attack on the melees holds for a pretty long time, because your damage is going to scale up too. But your nukes don't, so that's something you have to think about. Like DP's the same way. She has her Crypt Swarm. You auto them down, one attack here each. Crypt Swarm, what about the whole creep wave? So that's something you need to get in the habit of learning and figuring out how to farm efficiently. Like, I always see Windrangers fucking horrible at farming efficiently. Like, if they don't snowball off kills, they just, they do nothing all game. Because they don't know how to creep in between stuff. Like, you can nuke this down. Are you guys going for a kill? Probably not. You see the Pudges there. That makes life kind of awkward. You showed 3 here. Like, they have to be preparing for something to happen here. So right here, you can go into your jungle. You can farm this out. Like, there's many places for you to be creeping right now if, like, going for a kill doesn't feel safe. Like, if your team wants to group up, cool, you can group up and go for stuff. Right now, you don't really have solo pick potential. Unless someone's being really stupid. Like, maybe this Gyro. Maybe you could kill a Gyro. But you'd have to, like, TP up here, hope he doesn't move, and then go for it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you can take him off that tower, farm this creep wave, farm that stuff. That's a Lina. You should, like, you need to have eyes on this, too. You have a TP. That Gyro's up way too far now.
Dyer's middle tower just took a big
beating.
It's gone.
Okay, I reversed that in my mind. That Gyro's still up way too fucking far. He's getting sandwiched, and you're not even looking. You can see this on the mini-map. Lina actually handles him all by herself. I assume that was close, though. Yeah, pretty close. This is also a poor skill build. You should have 1 level on Fiery Soul, and you max Dragon Slave first. This one's easy to hit. This one's hard. This one also does, like, 60% more damage. We should see what just happened here. Nice Shackle. Does he still have Ravage? If he has Ravage, you have to be careful. Okay, you know he doesn't have Ravage. It's a good fight. Yeah, you run this the fuck down right now. Got him. Power shot that. Or Shackle. And double Shackle, double Shackle. Oh, this is gonna be good. You need to fix your angle on that. You killed your Bristleback. Like, you need to move up just like a little bit and shackle him to the trees to the right. Like, you mini stunned him when you could have just, and you're gonna die here for it. Like, that's just like a snowball effect. Like, let's go back and look at that and see what would happen if we actually hit our fucking shackle, right? Like, one, if you hit the shackle and your bristle doesn't die, the Gyro probably chases your bristle and tries to kill it. Okay, you could have shackled that too, like a 2-to-1. It didn't matter, that was the harder shackle. Like, if you didn't... That was close. He would have barely lived there, I think. Actually, I guess the Gyro would have killed him anyway. Like, if you just didn't use that shackle, or positioned it correctly, the Bristle might have survived with a little more HP. So that's bad. You just fed their Gyro 700 gold. He's not super far ahead. I'd say you probably want to level your shackle too. That skill's nice and all, but your shackle is what's gonna get you kills. Like, look how long of a stun. It's 3.75 seconds. That's up there with a Beastmaster Roar if you connect on it. I think Beastmaster Roar is only like, it's got to be around that. It's definitely not much higher. Okay, we're now, you're dead, so we're gonna look at this because now I'm curious. I don't think Beastmaster Roar is over 4 seconds. Like, I'm pretty sure about that. And I was wrong. Well, I guess I wasn't wrong. I said it wasn't over 4 seconds. But yeah, you have a spell on fucking like an 8-second cooldown, 12-second cooldown that stuns almost as long as a Beastmaster Roar. Like, that's crazy. And all you have to do is level it. Let's speed this back up. So we died there, but we haven't been creeping, right? Like, we're at 60 creeps, 22 minutes, and like, your hero, like, she's not a flash farmer, like a fucking anti-mage or something, or I guess not even like a Lina, but like, you don't not have the ability to flash farm. Like, you have power shot, and your damage is pretty good, and your ult's okay if you want to kill like a big creep or something. Like, you have things to use to kill creeps, and like, that should be something you're trying to constantly rely on, is getting gold from killing creeps in between your kills. Like, now it's 22 minutes in, almost, and I remember I looked at like 15, I was like, okay, you've gained 20 creeps in 5 minutes, which was from the 10-minute point where you had 30 creeps. You had like 35. You had like 35 at 10, you had 55 at like 15, and 7 minutes later you've only gotten 4 creeps. Like, you're not doing stuff in between your kills, and you're not getting anywhere enough kills to justify it. That's something you have to work into your play. Like, that's gonna be the difference between a good Windranger and a bad Windranger. Like, you'll see someone like, there's a good Windranger player. It's like this, you could auto those creeps down. Looks like you're gonna get all these anyway, but like, you want to auto them so that your power shot finishes off them all. Like, I don't know, I recall watching like a Patch Cat game a long time ago when he was still in Alliance. It was like 20 minutes, and he had like 140 creeps on the Windranger, and had like a few kills. Like, that's something you should strive to do. And like, he's playing in a 5-stack, right? Like, he's. Yeah, good enough. So he's playing like a 5-stack. They're trying to do coordinate stuff, but he's managing to put together tons of farm in between like movements and stuff. I'm not saying you have to play like a pro, but you should like keep in mind that good players will play this hero and get farm and get kills. Like, it's a both thing. It's like, think of him like playing a Storm Spirit. Like, you have huge kill potential, but you can also farm. And like, if you ever watch one of like Blitz's videos on how, okay, you weren't even looking where you were going. We'll go over that in a second. But if you look at like, Blitz has a bunch of tutorial videos on how to play Storm Spirit, and like, he talks about it all the time. He's like, yeah, you just sit here, you just creep in their jungle, you kill these creep camps, you just slowly do it, and then you go for your pickoffs in between your farming. Like, that's what he's all about. Okay, oh, you get hooked here because you're not looking. You can't just sit. You can't just sit at a rune. Okay, how long are we sitting at this fucking rune for?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
You sit here for 25 seconds. This is crazy. Do not sit at a rune for 25 seconds. Like, any decent team should have a fucking ward here. Yeah, they have a ward there, and then you die. And you're like, not even looking for that. Like, try and time getting a ward, or getting a rune, like, when it's convenient. Like, sitting there for like 10 seconds is like okay, for 20 is just ridiculous. It's such an inefficient use of your time. Like, you could have farmed this camp and came back to here. We're gonna look at it one more time, because like, you deserve that. So if we look at this, you have good ward coverage, you see them coming, but you're not looking at your mini-map. Am I looking at the wrong person? No, that is your perspective. But like, you could have farmed these camps, and then came back for this rune. You sit here, you're not looking at your minimap, you look at this fight, you're not looking at your minimap, you see these two come along, they get the easiest hook in their life, he blows a Ravage for no fucking reason, and then they steal the rune from you. Like, I want to stress how bad that was. One, your Lina dies top, you don't have a TP scroll, that's a problem. You have to have a TP scroll. You don't have a TP scroll, you can't TP to help her, maybe you could have gotten kills there. Two, you sit at a rune for 20 seconds, not using your time efficiently. You could have farmed this camp, this hard camp right here, and this easy camp, and then came for that rune in 20 seconds. And then they wouldn't have been there. Like, let's look how far this Pudge fucking walked when he saw your dumbass sitting there. Go back even further. Let's go look at our Pudger. He respawns. He sees you. Yeah, he's looking right at you, you see? Like, this is so stupid. Like, his TP wouldn't have been there, none of this would have happened. Like, God, that Ravage pisses me off. This guy is just king of shit Ravages. There's no reason I need to do that. He had plenty of burst without it, because he even has his Q max. So Gush does, like, pretty decent damage. Yeah, so that's like another example of inefficiency. Like, you still have 70 creeps, you're 6, 2, and 3. Like, you started off strong with your kills, and now you've done nothing. And since your kills have slowed down, notice how your item progression and your usefulness has slowed down. Because you can't guarantee kills. Like, in the early game, people are, like, less cautious, you know where people are going to be, lanes are predictable in, like, the first 10-15 minutes. Like, you know roughly where people are going to be. Like, at this point in the game, it's harder. It's harder to know, like, where people are going to be. And, like, reliably hit those ganks and kills. Like, maybe you'll have, like, team fights where you can get a bunch of kills, but, like, those aren't going to happen often. It's like you have to be able to creep in between those moments. Like, the reason I keep talking about this is because it's such a big thing. Like, creeping is such a reliable way to increase your net worth, while kills are, like, very hit and miss. It's ironic because kills give you reliable gold, but I'm calling it the unreliable way to get gold. That's why they give you reliable gold, because they're harder to get and there's a bigger risk factor. Like, hitting a creep is a minimal risk factor in doing that. Once again, you should always have a TP. Wouldn't matter for this fight, but it's something to keep in mind. Nice. Oh, he had Aegis though. I didn't even see him get that.
Morty, you better hold on to your hat because now it's a mega kill.
Like, you still, like, if you, right now it's 30 minutes into the game, your MKB should almost be finished right now. Like, you should have Ags, Blink, and, like, almost, probably, you could have an MKB finished. I'd say if you were farming well, you could have an MKB finished. It's only another 5k gold, I'll say 40 gold a creep. It's 100 creeps, 120 creeps maybe. And, like, you having 200 creeps right now isn't unreasonable. And having, if you had this record and 200 creeps, like, you'd be in good shape and you haven't finished MKB right now. Fuck this Chrysalis. Like, if you replace that with a Blink, you would have finished Ags and, yeah, like 120 creeps. Like, think of that difference. Like, all these people suck. I'm sure none of them really have creeps. Amiibo's actually, I mean, that's not good, but it's more than I'd expect in, like, low-level games. And, like, clearly it's enough, right? Because just kick the crap out of you guys. But, like, now you're in an awkward position because you're against, like, a farm Meepo. You fell off, and the rest of your team sucks. So, like, this build is stupid. It's a lot of stupid things. Not having your nuke max is probably the dumbest thing I've ever seen. The silence is nice, but the nuke, like, maxing any build on any hero that involves not maxing your nuke is like committing to not farming. Like, there's some moron I ran into in a pub once. It's like, I'm gonna do the Slark max pounce, max essence shift build, and I'm like, that's not a build. And the reason it's not a build is because Dark Pact is what's gonna let you farm reliably. So any hero who can, like, spam their nuke for, like, creeping and you choose not to level it, you're committing on doing something that's involves not hitting creeps, which means that you're fighting more and you're trying to get kills. Like, that's what maxing this does. This does a lot of damage, from what I gather. I haven't played her since this change, but I know she's fucking retarded. Magic damage? Pure damage? Holy shit. That's something, huh? Yeah, so I haven't played her since the change, but from what I gather, you know, she is really strong. Uh, but yeah, like the Crypt Swarm's still gonna let you kill most creep camps in like one Crypt Swarm and like 2 auto attacks. But it's just committing on not doing it. That's like a general thing. Like you should always keep in mind like if I do this, what do I fall back on if that doesn't work? And like getting the crit, Ags or whatever, that's like okay, that's gonna get me kills. And if this doesn't work, what do I do? Like if I'm not snowballing and I don't have like 20 kills by this point, what do I do? It's like you've got no farm at all. I know I'm like beating this to death right now, but it's such a problem. And it's what's gonna get you to like higher levels of play. Like when I play a carry, I play a very low risk style of play. Like I play a lot of Alchemist, Anti-Mage. I'm playing Spectre lately, but I swore off that hero for a long time. Anyway, I play like a very low risk style. So I really try not to do anything that's like too risky that's gonna get me killed for no reason. I just hit creeps, increase my net worth, and then like when I have peaks in strength, when I can go for kills, when I can do things safely, I do it. But like I don't try and force things, and I make sure that in between me doing things, which is usually split pushing and trying to pressure and kill towers, that I'm farming. I don't just run away from a tower when someone TP's in and then just like wait until I think I can go back and hit the tower. I'll leave like this lane, I'll push to this tower, see like 2 people TP in, run over to here, farm these camps, farm everything out. So like the same should be going for your kill. Like you go here, you look for a kill, maybe you get the kill, maybe you don't get the kill. Okay, cool, I back up here, I farm this camp, I farm the ancients, retreat back into my woods, pressure middle, whatever. Like there's plenty of things for you to do in between killing people or pushing a tower, or whatever the goal of your game is gonna do. And like, just one last thing. When you when you're playing, like you can do risky stuff, and if you execute correctly, it'll work out for you. And like it can work out for you a majority of the time. And the reason why I play like a farm-oriented style is because this is a belief of mine. If I play like a consistent, safer style, I can win a larger portion of my games than taking what I view as needless risks. And like going for like super dives and like hoping the enemy doesn't TP, that's a risk. Like you can get a kill because the enemy doesn't TP and respawn, but if they TP and respawn, then you die for nothing. Or maybe you get the kill and die anyway, and like that might or might not be worth it to die for killing like an enemy. Like it can and cannot be worth it, but that's like a risk you take. Like let's say you want to, I don't know, let's say you're a bristleback, you want to dive a tower 2 minutes in. It's a 50-50 shot someone has a TP right then and there. Like if I see a lineup where I know they can dive my enemies, or sorry, they can dive my allies. Like I see an enemy team that can dive my allies, I will make sure to have an early TP and be prepared for that. Particularly if my hero can turn a dive into a kill, because turning your like mid dying in like a 2v1 into killing 2 of them and your mid not dying, and then maybe your mid has to go back and heal and you get some mid experience, that is an enormous difference to make. Like it's astronomically large. But like my point is like doing dives for no reason isn't something you should do, or like doing needless dives. Like I'll play when in doubt, like I just back up and play safe. But yeah, like you should look at this game right now and know, okay, my DP's dumb. My Lina is saving up 4,000 gold for unknown reasons. I just finished my Ags. This guy doesn't know what he wants. I would have loved to see like a Mom Basher MKB here. That'd be pretty funny. Like I don't know what this is. It's a casual headdress into blade mail. I don't know. That sucks. That does not suck. Yeah, so he's getting a blade mail, but when you're in borrowed time, blade mail doesn't work. So it's like you blade mail so they don't focus you. But if they burst you, but like if you don't use it immediately and they get you to your threshold and your ultimate activates, then you're not returning damage. I mean, I'm sure there's worse items. I'm just saying, like I don't get this. don't get it at all. Like, that's a basher you could have. And that bash should be annoying for someone like the Meepo or the Gyro. Okay, yeah, that's annoying for you, because now she can kill you. Your Windrun's not going to save you from her anyway. But yeah, if you look at your team, you have to acknowledge that, like, these two people are useless. I don't know why she has four. It's like she doesn't know you can spend fucking gold. She can have a wand, an urn, and like a Yule's right now. Okay, that's a little too much gold. Yeah, it'd be close. She can almost afford those 3 items. She can now afford those 3 items. I assume she's gonna just buy a fucking Ags outright. Which is dumb. There's no reason to save up 4k gold to do that. I really want to know what she buys. I'm so curious. But yeah, like, you have to look at this and realize, like, shit, my team's useless. Okay, you're just gonna get yourself killed, dude. You killed me, but it's pretty good. And you don't get yourself killed there. I was wrong. Like, see, they're diving right now. You should just get this creep wave and take these towers. It's important that you get these towers. Like, you need the vision so you know where people are. Like, the more towers you take, the farther creepers are going to push in, the better intel you're going to have on where heroes are, which is the better for you to get, like, solo kills with. At this point in the game, it's kind of harder to get solo kills. Like, you kind of passed that window. Why the fuck did you die? What did you do? Silly man. Okay. We walk up here. We get hooked, and we die. Okay. Like, that's partially on your team. Like, they should have... You should have pushed this as a group. I'm like, sticking around just one was just asking to die by this moron suck. It's like old patch. I haven't seen a new item. Pudges love getting the fucking Aether Lens. She still has no idea what she's getting. I think Bloodstone's dated now on this year. You can get an Octarine. Provides like a similar level of tankiness. And reduces the cooldown on your ult, which is a major problem for that hero. Like, that's the only reason she fell out, because it kept nerfing her ult cooldown. What a 1.5. Oh, she's got... Okay, that's why. I was like, what? Show me the time. 1:45, yeah. So the Octarine's gonna lower that by 25%. It used to be like 100 seconds. It was so fucking annoying. She'd just constantly be up in your face. One ult would end, and then like the next one would start like 30 seconds later. Blade Mail too. Well, not sold up Blade Mail out here either. I feel like it's like too defensive considering how your face he wants to be. I think you should sit farther in the back. Why did you take so much damage from the get-go? They go on this guy. Oh, bomb. I mean, you should just know you're dead here. There's no way you're escaping that. It might have been worth trying to shackle and free the... one of them? That's crazy. Going for the eggs. She's doing it. Oh, come on.
Dyer's middle tower.
Por favor, Porto. Come on. I know you. What are you doing? I don't know. I don't know.
Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
This is so crazy. He's not AFK. He's moving his mouse. He's just sitting in the same spot for no reason. Like thinking about buying an axe. There we go. That is asinine. I think your goal should always be to have like all your item slots used. Like that's a general rule. Like if you have free item slots, like 2 free item slots, like it's a given that there is an item you should be having right now. Like a wand. You never wrong with having a wand, an urn, casual bracer, whatever. Holding wards like a fucking competent player.
He's unstoppable. Can't we just play a game where nobody bails?
But yeah, okay. There's no point in watching any more of this. We know what's gonna happen. You guys are gonna get shreked, just destroyed. Oh. All right. So here are our takeaways from this, and it's gonna be done with everything I talked about before. One, I think you rotate a little too much early on. I think you rotate at like level 3 or 4, and you got a kill for it. So like I can't say it was 100% wrong, but like generally just having a TP and being able to TP for rotations, or if you get a really good rune, like I think your both early rotations didn't actually involve having a good rune like a haste or a DD, something that would make getting the kill almost assured and like more possible. And like you left the lane too much. I think you could have gotten more kills on the Meepo. I think you got like 1 kill on him, which was good. But you probably could have pressured him a little more, because like the hero does require a lot of multitask. So the odds of you being able to hit a shackle on him while maybe he's looking at his other Meepo, it's pretty high. Like you should be able to tell the moments when he's not looking at his Meepo, because it'll stop moving, or it'll do something in like a predictable manner, or something that indicates like maybe it's like shift queued or whatever. Like if it just starts auto attacking something, or it misses like a last hit that's like really easy or something like that. Just doing straight auto attacks on a creep wave, maybe you just A-clicked it. Like things like that you can look for to tell if he's looking at the correct area or not. Anyway, so yeah, I think you rotate a little too much, and while you did get some kills, which was good, you still need to focus back on like winning your mid lane. Like this tower is not even dead. Anytime the Meepo, I guess he doesn't leave mid too much. Now I'm thinking about it, the Meepo probably wouldn't need to leave mid much, because he should have multiple Meepos, so one of them can sit mid and get the experience, so the other one's like stacking jungle or moving or doing whatever. But eventually, like if he's stacking jungle, he has to move the other Meepos to kill it, and you should be able to focus fire this tower down. You should have been able to put a little more pressure. Like your team only took 2 towers with like a DP and a Windranger. Like that's not good. It's not good at all. You need to think through your itemizations more. Clearly the item here would have been an MKB to beat on her. He also, if I saw your item and I was this gyrocopter, okay, I don't know where that axe came from. It's fucking dumb. Maybe he just didn't care anymore. If I saw your items, I probably would have rushed a butterfly. It depends if I viewed you as a threat. If I viewed you as a threat, I would have rushed a butterfly before the MKB. Then I would have gotten MKB after. Because if I see you getting a crit, then I know that you're not getting an MKB. Admittedly, you can get the baby crit and then go for an MKB. Like, that's an option. So, definitely getting the MKB on his part is safer. But if I see you, like, commit and buy the full crit, and I'm sitting on, like, maybe I'll sit on, like, 5,500 gold or something, just to see if you finish buying the full crit. And if you buy the full crit, then I'm gonna be like, okay, then I'm now buying a butterfly. Like, thinking about item counters. An MKB definitely would have been good. So Gyro definitely wants a butterfly at some point. It's just a matter of when. Personally, I like, if they have a lot of physical damage and they don't have natural MKB carriers, then I'll usually get a butterfly over an MKB. Unless they have evasion, then I'll get the MKB. But it's something you have to think about. Anyway, so that's 2 points. One, like, think about your rotations. Try and rotate with runes and not just rotating for the sake of rotating. I thought you did okay in lane, and then in between your rotations and your movements, ensure that you're getting creeps. Like, you should always be consistently trying to kill creep camps, push in waves, do whatever. Like, that's a really important thing. A pushed in creep wave gives you information and gives you farm. It does a whole lot to have pushed in creep waves. And not pushing it in means you're not going to have either of those things, and that's not good. That's a poor answer, but I don't care. I'm tired. I actually forgot about doing this analysis for a while, and I was looking at something, I was like, shit, that guy messaged me like a week ago. I should make this. Then I did it. Everyone left. What was I going to talk about? Right, so just make sure you're creeping like in between stuff. It's like, you should not have that few creeps in a 45-minute game. Like, even a hero who doesn't flash, like, if you have a hero who flash farms well, 9 to, like, 13 creeps a minute is pretty reasonable. If you have a hero who doesn't flash farm super well, like, maybe, like, a Windranger, or, like, I guess a DP to an extent, like, these 3 people I wouldn't count as, like, super flash farmers. 6 on the low end, to probably like 10 would be a pretty reasonable number. 10 would be high. For like 10 creeps a minute on a Windranger would be pretty high. But like 6 to 9, pretty reasonable. Or a 6 to 8, I guess, would be pretty reasonable. 9 would still be kind of high. But like that's something to aspire for. 2.5 creeps a minute on a core is really bad. Like no matter what core you are, it doesn't. I don't care. You can tell me you're a Chaos Knight. I'll say you should probably at least have 5 or 6. Chaos Knight sucks at farming. You do not suck at farming like Chaos Knight does. Like everyone on your team has that problem. If you want to get better, like you have to think about you and you alone. Like we can talk about how shitty everyone else is, but that's not how you improve. Meepo actually, you see, like look at that Meepo. That's a hero that can get like 10, 15 creeps a minute, like pretty reasonably easy. And he's at like 8.5, 9 or something. It's okay. He's got 13 kills, 7 assists. He's doing okay. I mean, clearly he's doing okay. His team is just shitting all over you guys. Anyway, so I guess we'll do one more little. I'll try and be more concise. So, dominate your lane. Oh, the other thing I wanted to complain about, the runes. Stop sitting at runes for 20 seconds. Like, that's a huge waste of time. That 20 seconds here got you killed because you were looking at top and you sat under a ward for 20 seconds in a single location and had a Pudge respawn, TP, walk over here. That hero is fat and slow. He doesn't even have a blink. He was fat and okay, this is the new patch. He just took forever to get that. So he respawned, TP'd here, walked over here, met up with his Tidehunter, casually hooked you while under your ward vision, and then killed you. That's crazy. And like the only reason that happened is because you chose to be inefficient and sit here for 20 seconds. Like that's not acceptable. And that was at least the second time I saw you do that. Is sit out a rune for 20 seconds. Like, you want to get there at most, like, 3 to 5 seconds early. Like, for casual things. Unless you're, like, really competing for, like, a rune or something. I mean, this earlier situation was okay, but, like, you were sitting there. That was at, like, the 28-minute mark or something where you did that. It's just silly. It's a waste of time. So, dominate your lane. Don't do dumb, inefficient things. Be more efficient with your actual creeping. Like, it's something, for a while, you're going to have to put more cognitive effort. Like, you're actually going to have to think, like, oh, I need to be creeping now. And then eventually it'll become second nature to fit in creeping among everything else you're doing. And then once it becomes second nature, you're going to be, like, a 10 times better player. Like, that's, like, fuck, that's like, mid-4K MMR stuff. Like, getting that efficient. And the last thing, which is... I'd say it's an easy way to improve that doesn't require any mechanical skill, just thinking a little bit. And you can think about it in the beginning of the game, and it doesn't require any thought throughout the rest of the game, and that's itemization. Ags first into crit, sorry, Ags first into blink MKB would have been your best route for this game. And I think you definitely want the blink. Like, this hero's huge on mobility. Like, you need a blink dagger to, like, get in those good positions, hit those good shackles, sit outside of a fight, and then wait for the good shackle to, like, hit 2 key targets. Like, that's stuff that'll win a fight. Like, that's a 4-second stun on, like, 2 people. That's crazy. That's like being able to Beastmaster roar 2 people. It's crazy. It's so strong. Like, I remember when this hero started getting spammed, like, months ago, I was like, how the fuck long is that shackle? And I looked at it, I was like, what the fuck? And what really made me freak out was I realized you couldn't disjoint it. That was a nerf they did. You can now disjoint this. But it used to not be disjointable. Because I tried Manta dodging it once, and then got shackled to a tree, and I was like, what the fuck? You can Manta dodge at the last second, but you can't, like, see the projectile, Manta, and disjoint. It'll still connect. That's not true anymore, but it used to be. There's like a 0.1 second on a Manta that will let you dodge literally anything. I don't think there's any exceptions to that. If you use it at the correct time, it can dodge literally anything. OD ult. Whatever. Okay, we're getting off topic again. I'm sorry. Anyway. That ability is super strong. Your blink's going to let you hit it reliably and possibly hit multiple key targets in big important fights. And like that's going to let you win stuff. So just think about your itemization even in the beginning of the game. You can look at this game, if we go back to the 0-minute mark, we're like, okay, they got a PA, they got a gyro, they got a Meepo. MKV versus crit. Probably favorite in terms of pure damage. The Daedalus is favorite. Like the Daedalus will do a little more damage. Actually, it's probably a bit more now since they nerfed MKB damage a little bit. But like, it's not like a huge, it's not an enormous difference. It's not like, oh, this is night and day. Like the MKB still has a ton of damage because when you proc it, it does a lot. Like it procs for 160 damage 35% of the time, and you're gonna hit that proc very reliably because you get max attack speed. They have a PA. This guy naturally builds evasion. He doesn't build evasion. He doesn't build evasion. He doesn't build evasion. But like killing the PA is gonna probably be pretty important. You keep her down all game, she's just gonna be free food for you. The gyro has a butterfly now. Would be super useful to have that against him. Crit isn't the end all, like be all. There's also the maelstrom, which I think is overlooked now. I think it does the most damage for like if you compare like baby crit Ag's blink versus just Ag's maelstrom. Ag's maelstrom probably, or sorry, blink maelstrom probably does more than Ag's blink crit, baby crit, and it does it in AOE, which is also really nice for team fights, and it'll help you creep a little more. But like just thinking through your items in the beginning of the game, like you should have looked at this game and said, okay, the Ag is gonna give me a little bit more survivability against like hooks, this guy, whatever. So I should get the Ags quickly. And you could just rush an Ags, which will help you against Alter Burst. And then you're like, okay, I get the Blink, which will help me with get those key shackles that are going to win me fights. And then the MKB is going to give me solo kill potential on any person in this game. And the crit is just going to compound on that. Might have been okay to get a BKB too, honestly. Like a BKB after the MKB. I think you wouldn't want to get it before your first major damage item, but the BKB afterwards would be good. Because it'll mitigate. She won't be able to jump on you. No Ravage. Only gyro right clicks, which until he has the MKB are ignorable. Meepo burst is pretty significant. That'll fuck you up. So that was worth getting against him. It'll negate all the Pudge's damage apart from the hook. So like MKB, BKB, Daedalus probably would have been a good item to get. And you can adjust that on the fly in the game. Like if you're like, okay, let's say this gyro's like 0-15 or something. Well, his magic damage isn't that... Okay, let's say the Meepo is like really... I think he's the bigger problem when it comes to magical damage. Let's say the Meepo is like 0-15, doesn't even have a blink to his name. Then you can itemize differently. You can skip the BKB and get the crit, and then maybe go back for the BKB later. Like, that's something you can think about. But that's something you have to think about. Because... like that's an easy way for you to gain an advantage of games is like getting an efficient item. Like that's inefficient. That's 4k gold wasted. I don't even think that Ags is that good. He's got a Reaver. Like that's wasted. That's half a waste. You could have a refresher. Like this Tide's items are stupid. Her items are mediocre. His items are good. His items are good. But like if you look at them, that's like if we look at the items here, like that's a waste of like 12k gold. This guy's an idiot. It's not a bad item, it's just stupid ordering. That's a wasted item. Probably a wasted item. I like how I say I'm gonna end a video, then I just keep talking. This is fucking stupid. But just being efficient with your items is important because it's functionally gaining you an advantage from your efficient use of gold. Because you're not spending it on dumb stuff like everyone else. Okay, this is the real recap. So, real recap now. So one, you're gonna have 4 points here, I believe. One, in the beginning of the game, think about the enemy team and what your role in the game is and what itemizations make sense for your hero. Plenty of heroes have varying itemization, and just figuring out what's gonna work for that game is something you have to consider. And then you can make micro adjustments to that in the game depending on the situation. You can look at this and generally decide that an MKB then BKB is going to be good. If their magic damage heroes are super far behind, like the Meepo, and he's not a threat, you can forego the BKB for a little longer. That's a call you make in the game. Second, don't rotate too early. You went for like, you rotated without runes, without a rune to justify it. You managed to get kills, but that's like them not paying. They could have backed away and then you wouldn't have gotten the kills, right? So that's something you have to think about. Don't rotate for no reason. Win your lane when you can. 3. Do not wait 20 seconds at a fucking rune. I know we harped on this. The Pudge was able to respawn, TP, meet up with the Tidehunter, walk over here, casually throw a hook at you who had been stationary for 20 seconds, and if I didn't know better, would think I was AFK. Killed you, then got the rune you were waiting for. It's like a biggest slap to the face. 4th and most important, which goes along with this, use your time efficiently. Don't sit places for 20 seconds. Don't wait around doing nothing. There's no creep wave and you're waiting for your creep wave because you just killed the creep wave here. Go farm these 2 camps. Go farm these 3 camps. Wait for the next creep wave. Like, if you want to push an objective after winning a fight, like, there's plenty of things to do, and you have to get in the mindset of doing that. Which goes hand in hand with creeping in between whatever you're doing. Whether it's going for a kill. Well, if you're going for a kill, those can be time sensitive. So you just probably get your kill, and after your kill, you don't just wander around and look for another kill. You can creep in between that until you see an opportunity or something that you want to do. So be efficient with your time and hit creeps. Alright, now I'm actually going to end the video. Hope that was helpful. And if you learn to just creep consistently, make smarter item decisions, you'll get a million times better, I guarantee it.